After the rumor that Hasbro and Netflix will not be working together on the Power Rangers reboot, we must consider other options. Although many have thought that this separation between the two companies means that the reboot was cancelled, the reality is that what the news means is that Hasbro will no longer be able to premiere the reboot on Netflix, and if that platform was going to help in the creation of the new universe, then it will no longer help. So, the next step should be to look for another platform that wants to work on the Power Rangers reboot, and that would also be a good place to premiere the new series. Something we should think about is that there is still nothing official, as Hasbro and Netflix have not confirmed this news, so we are still going to treat all of this as a rumor and not as something official. With this said, we can think about the most suitable or most likely platform Hasbro can work with to be able to create the reboot of the franchise, and this platform is Paramount Plus. This platform obviously belongs to Paramount Pictures, and we should mention this company as they are the ones who have worked very closely with Hasbro to create all the Transformers movies. This would be good news, since we have always said that the Power Rangers Zords should look with the same quality and style that the Transformers have in their live-action movies. These special effects that these movies have had have been spectacular, and everyone has to admit that the robots look amazing. If Hasbro wants to make a reboot of Power Rangers aimed for an adult audience, then they should consider creating something with the same quality of Transformers, since it is the only franchise similar to Power Rangers. Let me explain this a little better, and that is that Transformers and Power Rangers have giant robots, action, explosions, shooting, aliens, transformations, and very intelligent beings. On top of all this, both franchises have drama, a bit of comedy, heroes, villains, and teams forming to fight. Obviously there are some differences since they are two separate franchises, but they have a lot in common. However, the Transformers franchise has been treated with a lot of respect, and they have put a lot of trust in these giant robots, but apparently the company still does not trust Power Rangers. It is quite possible that this is because Power Rangers has been a live-action series dedicated to a children's audience for 30 years, and Transformers had a different path. When the Transformers franchise started, it was an animated series dedicated to a children's audience, but could easily be enjoyed by adults as well. This is why after many years they turned it into live-action movies dedicated to an adult audience, but that could also be enjoyed by the entire family. This made a huge impact on that franchise and has made Hasbro millions of dollars. This is the same thing we have been saying about Power Rangers, as we are sure that turning the franchise into a series dedicated to an adult audience will change everything forever. This doesn't mean that they should create an R-rated series, but make a universe with more seriousness, more drama, action, and that the special effects are impressive. A good example of this was the 2017 movie, which visually had everything it needed to be a huge success, as they did all these things we just mentioned. That movie has a story with more seriousness, more drama, action, and the special effects were excellent. The CGI of the Zords is well done, and the Megazord was one of the best I have ever seen. We all know that the failure of this movie had nothing to do with making it serious, with major special effects and dark drama. The failure of this movie was because it didn't have the essence of Power Rangers, because despite having the general idea of what this franchise is, they couldn't introduce the full essence, and this was one of the reasons why Transformers worked. Hasbro basically was the creator of Transformers because, although these robots come from a Japanese company called Takara Tomy, which had some robots that transformed, Hasbro partnered with them and modified the robots. This basically means that they created robots that were a little different, and little by little they created this entire Transformers universe. This is why Hasbro knows very well the essence of that franchise, and when Paramount created the live-action movies, Hasbro was very careful not to destroy the essence. If Hasbro understood the essence of Power Rangers well, they can watch for the essence of the franchise to be fulfilled very well in the new reboot universe. It is very likely that the failure of the 2017 movie is what has this reboot stalled, as that movie was the first attempt at creating a new universe. Unfortunately, because they failed to deliver on the essence of the franchise, this movie failed, and this has caused the owners of Power Rangers to possibly be afraid to invest again in a project as big as this one. Remember that a movie of this magnitude had an estimated investment of $100 million and managed to collect $142 million around the world. Although many will think that $42 million is a lot of money, for these big companies it is not much profit, since risking $100 million for such a small profit is not a good business. This is why there is still a question as to whether the Power Rangers reboot will be worth the risk, as there is no proof that this can work. Obviously, we as fans know that betting on a Power Rangers reboot that is well done is a very safe bet, but we must be honest, it is still a gamble. Every investment we make in life always has a risk, and in order for one to make that investment, we must be sure that the probability of success is greater than the risks we are going to take. We must understand that Power Rangers has not been so successful for a long time, and this is obviously due to the changes that have taken place in the modern world. We have talked about this many times, but we all know that kids nowadays don't watch the same TV we used to watch before, and many of them only watch YouTube. This has caused a drastic change in some companies, and although there are still many franchises that remain very active, there are others that did not do very well. One of these franchises was Power Rangers, and almost all children's series that are live action have not been so successful with these changes that the world has suffered. For now, the most that remains in force are the animated series with a 3D style, anime such as Dragon Ball, and children's programs with the same style that YouTubers have. However, superhero movies and series have had a great success with all these changes in the modern world, and the fact is that the children of the 90s are now adults. This is why all those kids who are now adults want to see their childhood heroes, but a much more serious version with better visual quality. Honestly, even though I didn't like that the 2017 movie didn't have the essence of the franchise, I really enjoyed being able to see a Power Rangers with amazing special effects, with costumes made of a more solid material and Zords that looked more real. If that movie had all the essence of the franchise, then we would have been able to see costumes like these that I'm showing right now, costumes that actually do look like Power Rangers, but have the same materials they used for that movie. If you would like to see the reboot with the same quality of Transformers, like this video and subscribe for a better quality Power Rangers.